My wonderful friends, Dr. Ray here in Beverly Hills. Remember my show, Dr. 90210? Well, I took the Rodo Drive. Everything's starting to make sense. Let's cross the street, you guys, and try not to get killed.
So how long have you been in this area?
I had the opportunity to raise my kids. When I finished at Harvard Medical School, I came directly here, set up a practice. I had a dream. There was a story to be told in medicine. Reality didn't exist. So you see lots of programs where, like soap operas, where the doctors were depicted as perfect looking, their lives were perfect. But you know what? I wanted to show that when you follow them home, my wife also yells at me. My dog also pees on the carpet. Hey, should we be, let me tell you something. Behind that camera is one of the most coolest guy in the world. His name is Ron Herring, our director producer. Ron, should we go on the other side of the street where it's better light, or is that too much light?
This is actually perfect. Yeah, looks great right here.
So you guys,
oh, 3 cameras. It's kind of cool.
So I came here because I thought there was a story to be told in medicine, that we're normal just like you. My dog pees on the carpet like you.
So you were one of the first reality shows with medicine, correct?
I was the second reality show on earth, and I was the first reality show medicine.
It's kind of amazing. You were YouTube before YouTube. Because now everyone does this with YouTube, but this was 20 years ago, right?
Something like that, you guys. So, and the show became a huge success. I wrote it. I took to the Screenwriters Guild on La Brea, and it turned out to be a huge hit. Who knew? And I wrote it as a resident when I was on call. And anyhow, you guys, so the investors came to this area, which was called Rodeo Ranch, Rancho Rodeo. And they were looking for basically oil. Guess what? Talk about bad luck. There was no oil here. But what a great lesson of life. Instead of oil, they discovered water. Up on those hills, that's why it's called Beverly Hills, because up on those hills behind that there's a huge lake. And so they discovered water here, and they start to actually sell the water.
Is that why certain parts are so green up in the hills?
Yes.
They're extremely green.
There's a huge lake up there.
Didn't know that.
And right behind those hills, why was it called Beverly Hills? So the investors, one of the investors came from Beverly, Massachusetts. So he was from a farm in Massachusetts called Beverly Farms. In Beverly, Massachusetts, a little tiny town. So when he saw these hills here, he called it Beverly Hills. And that hotel you saw down there, the Wilshire Hotel, was one of the first big structures to be built here in 1922. Why? All kinds of rich people, film was just starting. All kinds of rich people liked this area. They started to settle here. The prices went through the roof, and it became a chic area way back then. If you look at the incorporation in the LA Times of Beverly Hills as a city, it was already fancy. So it started fancy.
So the name came from Beverly, Massachusetts?
So one of the investors was from a little town called Beverly in Massachusetts. You know,
wow.
I went to Harvard. Harvard's in Massachusetts. I remember the little town of Beverly. So for me, it's also full circle.
Interesting.
Anyhow, so the living here, you guys, I never saw any crime. Everything's perfectly clean all the time. This street has, you know, all kinds of design. Rodeo Drive is one of the most important streets in the world for designers. And so you see everything here. Prada, you see Gucci, Balenciaga, you see everything here. And it's just a wonderful place to have raised my kids. But I want you to come by and visit, because it's, you know, once in a lifetime, and it's very cool. So routinely, you see celebrities walking up and down the streets here. Routinely. And
what's your...
So a lot of the parking station guys are Brazilian. I'm Brazilian.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the parking guys are Brazilian. That's why
How do you say hello, greetings in Portuguese?
In Portuguese, oi, como vai? It's a strange language.
Oi, como vai?
Oi, como vai? Hi, how are you? Or
It's like hola, como estás?
Similar. You can say hola, como está?
Okay.
But, you know, that's a little more elegant. The day-to-day is oi, como vai? And so that's wonderful, Ron, right there. Ron has a little flair. I was telling Ron, look, as a doctor, just say vocationally I have an interest in the media, and it's nice for doctors to have an escape. The profession is too stressful. So when I was not operating, I was shooting some commercial, some show, and I was telling Ron, I noticed something very interesting in my 22 years in the media. I've done Good Morning America, I've done The View, I've done everything. I noticed that when they got a little flair like Ron does behind the camera, the product comes out better. If the surgeon doesn't have a little flair, the result doesn't look as good. If your architect doesn't have a little bit of a flair, I would be careful.
That's a good point, huh?
Yeah. Anyhow, so the street is not that long. It ends right up there. It's, you know, probably half a mile.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter than what people think, huh?
Yeah, but it's very historic. And the rents here are insane. The rents are insane. So my office is down there, down that street a little bit, near that red building. But
how much does an office here go for? What can an office go for?
So my office, which was not too big, the size of a small apartment, about $20,000 a month.
Wow, that's no joke.
It's no joke.
It's $250,000 a year just in rent.
But like Sinatra says, if you're a singer, you have to conquer New York. Right?
Yeah, that's true. If you're a surgeon.
If you're a plastic surgeon, let me tell you something. One, plastic surgery is very tight. It's about 7,000 plastic surgeons in the world.
So not a lot.
Not a lot. It's very tight. It's a forced monopoly. So each medical school graduates just 2 plastic surgeons. There are 120 medical schools in America. So I was told before I came here, when I was leaving Harvard Medical School, they said, Ray, why are you going to Beverly Hills? 1 out of every 2 plastic surgeons in the world are in Beverly Hills. The competition is insane. And just in my building, look, Montana has 7 plastic surgeons. My building has 70.
Wait, Montana only has 7?
You know, plastic surgeons are rare. It's like brain surgeons, they're rare.
That's true.
So Montana's about 7 plastic surgeons. In my building, there's 70. And anyhow, so, you know, I just hung in there, and...
Let people know how long it took you, because I think it's pretty resilient, because it's a long time.
You know, you guys, yes, Ron is right. You have to have resilience. You have to really want it. If you have a little, like Ron, if you have a little flair for the science and you have a little flair for art, plastic surgery is the right thing. So it's, so here we go. After high school, 4 years of pre-med, so college, pick any degree, I picked chemistry. You're not gonna get in, it's too competitive, so I did a master's degree in health policy. Medical school then is 4 years, so we're already at 10, right? Are you doing the math? Then you have to do 1 year of internship, which I did at the Mayo Clinic, so that's 11. It's 5 years of general surgery, which I did at UCLA, trauma surgery, so we're already at 16. 2 years of reconstructive plastic surgery, the burns, you know, the congenital defects, so we're already at 18. And then 1 year cosmetic surgery at Harvard Medical School. That's 19 years, you guys. Wow. And you say, wow, that's insane. But can I be honest with you? Your first year salary is $1.5 million. So your friends who went right to work and made $25,000, $35,000, $40,000, $50,000, by the time you come out, they're making about $65,000. But your first year is $1 million. And the cure rate for plastic surgery is the same as psychiatry. We cure depression at the same rate as psychiatry. Did you know that? That's actually documented in a study. So these moms get a little flaccid skin, their boobies fall a little bit. We fix all that. And
so 19 years total.
19 years after high school, 19 years of study.
Wow.
Yeah, so I graduated at 36.
So it's more, you're probably more likely to find a sports athlete than a plastic surgeon. If you combine sports, there's probably more sports athletes in the world.
You should have mentioned sports. I've done half the NBA wives. I've done almost every wife in the top 10 golfers in the world. My gosh, you could tell if I could tell you the top 3 athletes in each area of sports that I operated, you would fall off that chair you're on right now. So I've done a lot. I've done half of all the soccer players' wives. And so, yes, it's a neat profession.
What's your favorite thing to do in plastic surgery? What type of surgery is your favorite?
You know what? I'm Brazilian, so of course I'm going to do the BBL, the Brazilian butt lift, which is of course the most popular today. You know what? We poisoned a whole generation of men with, it's called xenoestrogens, plastic bottles, alcohol, all grains. Cleaning products are too strong, you breathe in the estrogen. So we create a generation of, I'm sorry to say this, you guys, microphallus. So if you look at the penis size from last generation and the one present, I'm talking about Gen Y, the penis has gone from 17 to 10 in one generation. the size of the penis. So
From all the estrogen.
From all the estrogen in the environment. So one thing I like to make, because these guys are really broken, they're really broken. One thing I like to do is to make penises with stem cells. But there's one disturbing part of that, is I have to hold the penis for 5 hours. Are you following this? I have to hold another man's penis for 5 consecutive hours. And I'm not just saying holding. I have loops on, which are microscopes. I have that thing so intensely looking at it, because one little mistake, I hit the nerve, and it's not gonna work. So the pudendal nerve, you cut the pudendal nerve, he's done. So I spend 5 hours holding another man's penis. I don't even hold my own penis for 5 hours. So, but those guys come back with their heads raised, self-confident, because I make a little micro penis, which is very common today.
That's a common thing?
Into a 21 size penis. So we really save these men's self-esteem. Yes.
So you think a lot of it is the environment and what's in the food and the waters is what's doing this?
It's absolutely, I pray it's not a plot.
Okay.
Right? Because beta males do not question the government. I pray. Yes. In my more cynical moments, I have my doubts.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
These days I'm not surprised.
Right, Ron? So it's, we immigrants were built a little different, but the American guy, unfortunately, they snuck this past him, and all grains are phytoestrogens. GMO means what? Genetically modified. That's not a complete sentence. Genetically modified to what? Xenoestrogens, phytoestrogens. So plastic bottles have it. Cleaning products are really strong smell. You inhale the estrogen through your nose. But nothing goes through your nose. How about cocaine? That goes through your nose. All alcohol today, pretty much all alcohol today has estrogen in it.
Is that why people who drink a lot get man boobs?
If you look
at they get guts?
Beer drinkers, right. They have the man boobs and they have the microphallus, you know.
Too much drinking.
Yeah, so it's in sweeteners. You say, well, I'm gonna get a diet this, a diet that. The sweeteners are full of estrogen. Anything that comes from petroleum is full of estrogen. Why? Petroleum comes from dinosaurs. Dinosaurs had hormones. We know testosterone is converted into estrogen. So that's why guys who do juice get woman boobs. So anything that comes from a dinosaur, anything, plastic bottles for example, will have estrogen. So it's best to avoid it if you're a male.
Avoid
plastics. You know, for $1 more, you get the glass bottle to drink your water with.
Makes sense.
So anyhow, you guys, so I get a lot of pleasure from, you know, building these men's self-esteem. You'd be surprised, if you look at a Gen Y, pretty much, he's gonna have a small penis, pretty much. No, I don't laugh because it destroys them and it's not their fault. Society poisoned, my generation unfortunately poisoned them. My generation's at fault. You know, but people aren't
gonna believe it because you look like you're about 38, 40. So when you say your generation,
yeah,
we look like peers.
Well, you know, it's like Ponce de Leon was looking for the fountain of youth. And it's odd that another Latino, 200 years later, found it. Ponce de Leon went all over the Americas looking for the fountain of youth. Never found it. He died.
All right.
But another Latino, Dr. Roberto Ray, I discovered the fountain of youth. And it was right here in Beverly Hills. How do you like that?
Beautiful.
Of course, as a plastic surgeon, I'm gonna know all the tricks, of course. So, you know, I'm a baby boomer, born shortly after World War II. And, you know, things were different. We didn't have, there was no soy milk. Soy milk is gonna make you that big. There was no soy milk. There was, you know, all the bottles were made out of glass. There were no sweeteners. So it's a very different generation, you know.
And they feed a lot of soy to cattle too, don't they now?
They do, right?
And the cattle aren't supposed to, so a lot of the meats have soy.
Whatever the cow eats, it eventually passes on to you. So these cattle that are raised, grazing in open fields, they have a lot of omega in their meats. The cows that are in little tiny corral, fed these artificial foods, you're gonna eat that. Well, you're gonna eat what they eat. Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Should we change positions here?
Yeah.
My handsome Ronald?
No, this looks great right here. But we can go down there.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
But this is actually a perfect spot. So, go ahead.
So Beverly Hills is one of the most, and there's seasons here. So summertime, it's all tourists. But it's a wonderful place. it's surprisingly affordable. Some of these hotels, like that little hotel right there, is surprisingly affordable. And the parking here is free for 2 hours. So you guys don't be afraid to come visit us. And we're just a skip and a hop from downtown, which is about 12 miles away. The ocean is, a skip and a hop from here. So if this year, because the economy is kind of bad, you're thinking about maybe staying stateside, may I recommend? Look, if you go to the Hollywood sign, right behind that building is the Hollywood sign, the famous Hollywood sign. There's a wonderful ranch right below the sign. And it's, these are very friendly horses. I take a lot of guests there. The horses are very tame. And for a small, tiny fee, you can ride up to the Hollywood sign and take some wonderful pictures. In this era of Instagram, TikTok, you'll have the pictures of the year. So accommodation is very cheap. The place is always sunny. Can I tell you what the climate here is? Always, 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 always like this. So it's semi-desert, and it's always warm. The ocean is a little tepid.
What places are good here for food, do you suggest?
Of course, we have the, I'm gonna be biased, people, please. I'm gonna be biased. So my favorite place is Fogo do Chão, a different pronunciation, Fogo do Chão, which is on La Cienega. You can walk there from here, La Cienega. The reason why I'm so pro-Brazilian food is, look, you've never seen an overweight Brazilian person. It's very high.
That's a good point.
It's very high in the meats, which we know. The more protein, the more tone you're gonna have. The more tone, the more fats you burn. So meats are fat burners, and the Brazilian cuisine has a lot of fat burners. So leafy green vegetables are fat burners. Always add the cranberry juice, because that's a fat burner. Pears are fat burners. So there's an X number. Olive oil is a fat burner. Every day I drink a spoon of fat oil.
Oh, you do that too?
Yeah.
I do that every morning.
And look, this is a 63-year-old guy.
63.
63.
63.
So,
when I met you, you look like 38, 40.
I love Ronald. I love Ron.
No, I thought you were in your, but then you realize you do the math. You're like,
and I love him because a person that can, congratulate other people is a person that's secure, and he is such a person. So very successful in business, but like me, likes avocationally, likes the media. So anyhow, you guys, so it's a great, easy to travel anywhere in the world. There's always a flight to LA. It's inexpensive here, surprisingly inexpensive here.
What is our nearest airport?
The weather's always
here?
good. There's never gonna be a day where it's never gonna be like in Brazil, it rains every day. I love Brazil, but it rains every day. So there's no possibility of you coming to LA and be rained out. There's all kinds of venues for concerts, from classical to modern to alternative. So you